Hello, everybody. And I just wanted to make this video about and talk about the trauma of juvenile delinquency since many people I've told this to just don't seem to get it. And this is not meant to call them out or put them in a bad light. It's just meant to talk about, emphasize, on how it's traumatic and how it affects and how even though it's brought on by the delinquent themselves, it still is a really traumatic thing that causes that for the brain and for the body, for the future of said delinquent. And I just wanted to talk about that. So it just in a short, it's traumatic because like I said, even though it's brought on by the juvenile delinquent themselves, it's traumatic because of the mandatory isolation that it brings regarding the consequences of their actions. And furthermore, it's also because the person has already, obviously, the delinquent themselves has already gone through some form of trauma or turmoil up until that point. Like, for I've known that for because as for me I know that even though I myself am mostly am to blame either fully or mostly for all my for much of my wrong for what much of the things I did wrong in school. like I know that it's still I still have the right to know that that going through the consequences of it is still deeply traumatic. None more so than what I went through last year on the last 3 months of school. So you might, and another traumatic aspect of this is I went through some things before last in my senior year that were just hard to deal with. I go I my like I was going through my first and last and supposedly so far only official breakup. My I still have, but back then it was really intense. I had a strained dynamic with my family. Life was like that. And on top of that, I lost several friends. I lost several friends. Most of those were most of which were my fault, but it was still something because of how long I've known some of them. And it was and I tried to make it better with them, but they officially erased me from their existences. So and it was still deeply troubling. And so that's not an excuse for what delinquent me or any other delinquents have said or done that got them into trouble. But see, I just want you to see how that's just in the beginning of what delinquents go through. That and because of the torment and trials and tribulations that sticks with their minds, that leads up to their delinquency, or that happens as a result of the punishment of their delinquency, that's traumatizing. like and for me, when my biggest situation that happened in my senior year that led up to me not being able to go to graduation happened. It was intense because it happened to me out of nowhere when I was getting bullied. And instead of walking away and getting help to deal with the bitch who started, I mean, sorry for my cursing, but to deal with the person who provoked me, I just said what I said. And when I was being questioned for what I said. I was like, my counselor had to be in with me to console me while I was like, as the school was like contacting my parents. I was like, because I knew obviously this was like the biggest thing I'd gotten in trouble for, and that like, and because I was like hanging out with the wrong people and who were like just fake completely, as one of my true actual friends stated. My school is full of fake people who would just, and like, yeah, like I had, and obviously like I said, I had to spend, because of that, I had this, because of something I didn't want to happen, I had to spend my entire spring break on house arrest, and I couldn't go to prom as a result of a previous thing that happened. I accepted that, but like having like that having to happen and spending my entire spring break on house arrest, that should have been it. That should have been all of the punishment, like they said, and being suspended. This is another trauma of delinquency that can happen. Like when you make a big slip up like that, it's easy for systems to like put you on to like put you on the other on the wrong side of the track, not tracks, but of the wrong side of everything, and like put you deeper, like, and like, because like when I bring up my situation to some people, they just like only they like only that's another and that like your friend, and like that's another trauma of it. Like when I went through my situation, like half of my entire half of my entire family, and some people like I and some people like I and some of my friends, they they only focus on what they either only focus on what I said, or just completely miss how traumatic what I went through really was. Like I obviously I know what I said is a really serious thing, and I agree that I had to be punished for it. But like I said before, for juvenile for delinquents, like it's really easy for them to get thrown under the bus for some for things that they do, no matter what it was, even if it was if it was like, especially if it was as serious as what I said. It was like, and people, and even, and like and it's also easy for them to like lack the support that they really need to get by it, which is something that I myself still feel like I struggle immensely at finding. And like another thing is that, like, and back to the like thing where I said people where it said it's easy for juveniles to like lack support or understanding from others. Like after like the school made me miss my last tennis season, my last band concert, um that's the pain and suffering I went through, like, and my desperation to get over it, and the lust that it put into me. That's what led to this one personally traumatic event happening to me in mid-May. That most that like that was especially traumatizing, and that was before I found out the school excluded me from graduation. And like and like I'm not coming after the school for discrimination, but like breaking a promise. By the way, that's completely unrelated to this whole topic I'm bringing up, but like, yeah, this is especially another thing, because like they could lose something that's meant to like that was supposed to like bring them, that was supposed to be something good, something really good for them, that's supposed to leave a lasting impression on their minds, and as a result of either their actions or something that they didn't want to happen but happened anyway, they just it just ends up being something just unwanted, unsolicited in their head, that like goes on. And it's and it stays with and it messes them up for life. And I said, like, when it happened to me, I said on my other account that I don't know if it still exists or not, that, like, just that I advise my followers to be careful of what they say or do, because you might never know if it will or will not come back to bite you in the butt for life. And not just both for people get both for those who think about saying or doing something mean to another person, or the delinquent themselves, who has the pent up angst and rage and aggression in them, and just or if they just feel like misguiding themselves. Like, delinquency is also can also be a misguided thing. Like, for before up until my house arrest thing, like, the two things that, like, the two incidents that the two my two sus- the two delinquent and stuff I got into, they were, like, done with some they had a well-meaning, they had a good intention behind them that I'm not going to get into right now. But, but I just chose to, like, misguide myself and take the in the wrong way and go the wrong direction with them, instead of making it even instead of actually taking the good intention somewhere. Um, so yeah, like, and one last thing is that, like I said, people just don't understand, like, what juveniles go through, both before, during, and after, like, what they do. It is like, even like I said, even though it is brought on by the person them even though if it is brought on either mostly or fully by the person themselves, it is still is still traumatic things they go through before and after it. And, like, and like I said, it could leave the wrong kind of the consequences, even if it is brought on by themselves. The forcible and mandatory isolation, depending on their punishment, it stays in their brains. And depending on, like, what happened, like, and people, like, they can't sometime and some people, they never recover from it, and they never come back from it. And that just me and like their life just goes off the deep end. And so I guess that's what I wanted to say. Like, if you know a friend who's on the way to becoming a delinquent, like, not seriously, but like smoking or drinking, or just saying stuff, or has or is expressing violent or depressed thoughts, then help them. Get them the help that they need. Show support to them. Don't be like don't be like how a lot of my friends, don't be like, I mean, not certain kinds, but, like, don't be like friends I had during my incident, who like completely betrayed who are like complete who won't hesitate to betray you, like my ex-friend who was dating the girl who, like, provoked me into saying that, or like, into saying what I said that got me into that mess. Or don't be like friends who, like, just completely just not care to, like, completely miss the point of a friendship, and just leave you out to dry in your worst moments. Or just be a good friend. Be there for your friends so they don't do the unthinkable. Help them so they don't go down the wrong path in life. And just, like, if you know a friend who's, like, showing some sort of erratic or behavior like that, help them, or get them help for that, so that they don't end up maybe like how I am, or any person that's even worse out there. And furthermore, if you have a friend who's been through something like that, then don't miss the point of, like, or at least try to emphasize, even like I said, and I can't make this clear enough. Even though juvenile delinquency is brought on by the person themselves, there's still traumatizing matter that still leaves a lasting impression on them. And I'm not asking for, like, I'm not asking for you to, like, excuse what they said, the things they say or do, but show empathy or sympathy for them, so that they can at least feel like they have a reason to either forgive themselves or be better, or anything positive, or anything even remotely positive to happen. Like, as I say to myself, lack of empathy or sympathy is what fuels a lot of the madness in this world. Do you want to be the person who makes it better or worse? Like, yeah, I just wanted to make this video talking about this. I'll if I feel like it, I will be back with further updates. Thank you for watching.